Hello, my name is Larry Jones, and I'm getting ready to build my custom 2013 computer. I have my parts. I have a half 912 case, a coolermaster TX3, a Seasonic 620 watt power supply 80 bronze, a Samsung 840 250 gig SSD, and not an Athlon, but a FX 6300 6-core AMD pile driver core chip, Windows Home Premium OEM System Builder 64-bit OS. I don't do Windows 8. 8 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM, gigabit 970A UD3, and the bare parts you see right on top are from my old system. The old 500 gig Dexstar 7200 RPM 8 meg cache hard drive, my GTX 650 1 gig of GDDR5 RAM PNY, the card reader out of my old computer, and the DVD burner out of my old computer. I also have the SATA connections from my old computer because I plan to add more hard drives and such. Here's one of the other ones. Also, from the reviews of the Seasonic, the 8-pin CPU power is short, so I went ahead and grabbed a Silverstone extension cable for my power supply. A friend of mine gave me some old parts from his computer, and it so happens had a header with USB 2.0, which goes onto my motherboard, which my motherboard has 3 or 4 headers for USB 2.0, 1 header for USB 3, and the Arctic Silver 5 thermal compound I'm going to use on my new heatsink for my system. And I also have a fan extension cable for the back case fan because the gigabyte board has the case fans at the front and none in the back for the where they need to be. But this board was the best bang for the buck, giving me Firewire 800 or Firewire 400, 800, depending on how I want to look at it, and USB 3.0 header, which I have the upgraded coolermaster case. It's not the Plus or the Advanced, it's the regular coolermaster. Mine is the RC912KKN4. The N1 is USB 2.0 on the front 2 USB ports. This port on this case is USB 3.0. That one right there is still 2.0. The reset switches.
I think I'm recording you.
The parts already shown. I'm going to first put the case down on the floor and get this straightened out. Would you pause it?
I did.
Okay. I was going to get this stuff ready for the... Alright. I want to start with getting my motherboard ready. Here's your I/O shield for your case. I'll put it in here in a few minutes. Got, besides the original SATA connectors I've got from my old computer, I've got 2 more that comes with the motherboard. Driver disc for the motherboard and processor and all that. Case badge, if you choose to put it on your case. Manuals. And motherboard and anti-static bag. Hello, Aries. Now, make sure when you're taking your motherboard out of the anti-static bag, hold it by your edges or by the plastic. And depending on who you listen to, you can build on the anti-static bag. There's no resistance. Just go to Gary Holzman's YouTube page or tech-vets.com and they'll talk about why there is no resistance on the anti-static bag. Now, I'm going to install my RAM. It's 2 sticks of 4 gigs of 1600 megahertz Corsair Vengeance. And since I'm building in an anti-static area, I'm perfectly fine. Make sure you touch like mine. Get yourself on a same electrical level, or you can touch your case. Now, on your motherboard, you've got DDR1, or DDR3 1, DDR3 3, DDR3 2, and DDR3 4. That means I need to put in the white sockets for my RAM. I'm going to have 2 open ones for if I ever want to upgrade the RAM. Make sure you hold it by your heat sinks. And it's keyed a certain way, so make sure what you're installing to is undone, so you can click it into place. You'll hear a click. You heard the click. Next, stand up. I'm putting in the processor. You just lift up your lever. Now on your Intel motherboards, your socket has your pins, but AMD still on their consumer processors still has the pins on their chips. This is the stock heatsink, which I'm not going to be using. It's already got your thermal paste on the bottom of the heatsink. But I'm keeping this just in case I need to. Now, also got a little AMD FX sticker for your case. Here is the processor. and make sure you grab it where you have some indentions. And there's the pins. Push it back down, make sure it's locked. And yes, it is. Make sure my shirt don't drag across the. Okay. What I'm going to do right now is clean the processor, just in case I've got any fingerprints or any of my finger oils on the processor, because they can hurt the thermal transfer. What you want is at least 90% or higher isopropyl alcohol. All thing I'm doing is getting a little bit of a Q-tip full and just lightly going over the processor. It'll just help clean those oils off. Okay, what I'm going to do now is put on the heatsink for on the motherboard. Of course, I have more tape than really think necessary. A little bit of anti-corrosion paper. We also got another box. Tells you the instructions. But Intel's attachment for 1155, 1156, 1150. But what we're wanting is this bar right here. This is for the AM2, AM2 plus, AM3, AM3 plus. And they also include thermal compound and different screws. And if you wanted to run a second fan off of your, on the back side there, they include the fan adapters. What I'm going to do now is peel off the tape off the heatsink, just a protective film, and of course it attaches to me. And now, according to the directions of the TX3, is you put your thermal compound on the heatsink and spread it. And There's different methods and all that, and I prefer the P method, or BB. Most time you put them on the processor. This is the first one I've seen you put it on the heatsink. That should be enough. And it's very, you just gotta be careful. This stuff is conductive, so you don't want it getting anywhere near your solder points of your motherboard. And what I'm going to do now is spread this around a little bit. I just got a plastic bag. This is method I learned. I apply your thermal compound. And that's right. Take a retention bracket, you slide I heard this is going to be very difficult. Attached. Larry Jones here. I just last night finished my custom 2013 computer and I have it running. And let's just say it's a nice computer. I've done the optimizations to Windows 7 with the guide that Carey Holzman gives on his website or his YouTube channel, and the Samsung Drive Wizard software has some nice optimizations with it. And sorry about the cable management, I'm still setting things up just to get it perfect. I have it on two 23-inch AOC monitors, and the system runs really cool, really quiet, which what I was on my old system was really loud. Where I showed you in my last couple of my first part of the build about how to apply your thermal paste to the heatsink has really made it run really cool. As you can maybe see, my camera don't really focus that well. Temperatures for TMP INO 35 degrees value minimum is 35 degrees, max is 40. IN1 right underneath is 40, 39, 45, and INN2 24, 24, 44. Fans don't really run up all that hot. Right here is the temperatures of the package, and it don't really use all that much wattage. 24, 24, 45. The parts that are actually running hotter are the original hard drive I put in it. I've actually got most of my files for games and my work for college coming off of on it to help relieve the write to the SSD. My graphics card don't run all that hot, and I've got really much better performance than having it in a Generation 1 PCI Express. It's in Generation 2, because AMD, even though they offer video cards in PCI 3, their motherboards don't support it yet. I believe that's coming out in Steamroller, with the motherboards that support Steamroller. And I'm thinking they're still going to keep the AM3 socket, or AM3 Plus socket, so if I wanted to, I could actually go to the Steamroller cores. Thank you, and goodbye.